ChessDiagnostic.
Hello everybody and welcome back for another video. I took yesterday off just because I was really busy, and also I've been thinking about just watching the viewer statistics, and it seems that I'm going to give every other day a video. So at least Monday, Wednesday, Friday, that'll be the schedule for now. And if I feel like doing more videos during the week, or I have some idea that I get obsessed with, then I'll just be putting that content out. And also, before I get into this video's topic, I think on Friday I'm going to launch what I call the Chess Study Podcast. Now, it's going to be pretty wide open at this point, but there's really only one good chess podcast that I saw, and that's the Perpetual Chess Podcast, which is just interviews with players from around the world, very strong players. But I'm just going to basically just talk, for a couple minutes to 10 minutes. And if you guys want to send in questions that you have about specifically chess study, or basically any question at this point, then send those in, and it'll just be kind of an audio podcast that you can listen to, and also just be in the chess world if you're driving or you want to listen to something. So I do think that kind of content is greatly needed in the chess world, and I'll just see what I can do in terms of that. Now, today's topic is about being a finisher. This is an issue I've had for, I would say the past 2 years. It's my main weakness in terms of chess. I'm very well aware of it. For example, in 2017, I went to the World Open. I probably had 3 absolutely winning positions. And not only did I not finish the game and win it, I went on to completely self-destruct and just lose the games. So I played some blitz games this morning, and in 2 of the games, this one's against an 1800, another one against a 2100, I was completely winning, and it just slipped through my fingers. And let's just go through the games real quick. So I'm white, e4. We go into a French defense, and in this position, black really needs to know that he needs to be very aware of this sack on h7, and that's exactly what we get after he castles. Now, a stronger player would have just developed his queenside, put pressure in the center, and then maybe played something like h6 or even f6 and started to castle later. But instead, we get bishop takes. You can see that the actual objective computer evaluation is completely winning at this point, and I should have no problem. So I play some slightly inaccurate moves. I should have played f4 and then brought my queen in, but I just kind of rushed it. But I'm still fine here. I still have an advantage. I didn't really sack any material. This bishop might have some problems, but I'll get out of the position just fine if I play accurately. Alright, so now I take with a knight, and the problem with that is that f7 can take, and now the king can escape. I should have just done f4 again, as it says here, but instead I took, and even at this point, I'm still doing okay, but now the king escapes. So I'm not lost here, and actually I should have won this position, but you can see I'm already down on time, and this is an issue that you'll start having when you're beating stronger players, is you'll see exactly what to do, but you'll spend too long trying to perfect the line, and that's what I did here. So still okay, I'm not lost, I have an advantage, his king's exposed. But now I kind of go crazy. I only have 13 seconds to his 1:10, and I castle to try to keep the attack going, check, and then by the end, I'm lost and 0 time. I had 1 second and ran out of time. All right, this next position was quite frustrating as well, if it'll load here. I'm white, e4, and we get a Sicilian. Alright, so I just went for the standard Sicilian on the king side. Just develop. We both develop, no problems. Now he starts to develop his queen side, and his king side becomes a little weak. He can't really find a plan here. Objectively, it says black's better, but he starts having some problems after he brings the knight back. He's going to reroute it to c4, but that's really not the best plan because it leaves his king side exposed eventually. Alright, so he attacks the bishop, goes back to protect b2 and the bishop as well. and I just resume my kingside attack. Alright, so he gives me the f5 square. Objectively, it's saying with knight to e6, he could probably get his knight in here after chasing mine away, and he'd be okay. But after a few moves here, and specifically h6, now I have an advantage, and after a further mistake with knight and then knight back, now this is a very important point that I want to make in terms of activity. So when you're defending, you really want to watch out for bringing pieces back to reroute them to the other side. And the reason that this knight move is so bad is not that he's trying to reroute it. Specifically, it's because it cuts off the access of the queen and all the activity of the queen. In addition to bringing a piece back and out of important squares, now the queen cannot immediately get over and protect the queen side, so that allows me to take here. Now if the pawn takes, I just push forward, which is what happens. And if the bishop comes here, then he has a lot of problems after knight takes check. Now I saw knight takes check, but I thought I had some more time. I would just take the piece. And now it's completely wide open, and I am winning, even at this point. After some mistakes, you can see here that queen to g7 would have traded, although I'm sure I'm going to win a piece eventually, or at least an exchange. So after I take, I should have took the rook and simplified even more. And now you see here that I just give away a piece, but I'm still totally won. The problem here, again, is that I have 3 seconds. I did the same thing. I spent too long trying to perfect the line in my head, and actually I missed the best line earlier, which, let's go back here. So instead of taking, I should have just did knight takes h6, and after the king comes, I could have checked here. Notice if the knight takes, then I'll check and eventually mate pretty quickly. And that would have been game over. It says mate in 4. Let's see what that mate is. So knight takes, rook takes, and then king to h5. My mouse is pretty sticky, so that's probably something that I should look into. That's definitely a factor. h6, very interesting. So knight promote check, and then king to h7, rook to h5. Wow. That would have been a cool mate, but I wasn't a finisher in this game. So that's a point I want to make, is that it's not necessarily a chess skill thing, it's just a practical application of knowledge, and time management is really what it is. Although I would say in the games I played in the World Open, I wasn't necessarily low on time. I was just obsessed with playing the perfect line. And I'll say that even Fabiano Caruana, from what I read, that's actually a weakness of his, where he tries to always find the perfect line, and he gets in time trouble and blunders sometimes because of it. So this is not necessarily a chess study thing. It's just more, I guess, rather psychological than anything, or just figuring out what you're doing wrong in the moment. All right, so thanks for watching. If you have any questions that you'd like me to answer in the chess study podcast that I'm going to make, then please leave them in the comments below this video, and I'll see you on Friday. Thanks for watching. Bye.